Hello everybody, my name is Marlo. Today I've got two Nether house designs to show you for two of the new biomes in the latest snapshot for Minecraft 1.16's Nether update, one of them being the Crimson Forest and the other being the Warped Forest. I know we do have the Soul Sand Valley, but I couldn't really think of anything to build in that one, so we're just going to keep it with these two for now. And I think to begin with here, the first one we're going to do is the Crimson Forest. So here is a list of all of the blocks we're going to be using for this build. All of the ones at the top here can be found within the Crimson Forest or crafted using the resources found in there. So just make sure you've got a decent amount of all of this stuff, and if you need some more, you can just go ahead and chop down a Crimson tree and you should be fine. But for these two down here, the Basalt and the Soulfire Lantern, you're going to need a good half a stack of that. That's probably going to be more than you actually need, but can't hurt to really have it, and you're going to need 4 Soulfire Lanterns. The first thing we need to do is find a nice little spot within the Crimson Forest here, and we can grab our Crimson Stem and start by placing the pillars in. So we're going to place 2 in like that, diagonal to one another, and then leave a gap of 3. We're going to say this is the front of the house. Do another 2 on this side, another gap of 3. Same again on this side, 2 like that, so we should have a nice little square-ish with these corner blocks missing, and then we can just bring each of those up by 3 more blocks, so that is some 4 high pillars. Now we can get started on the roof, so get your crimson planks here, and on all 4 of the corners where the 2 pillars meet like this, we can put a plank on the top block like that, and then quickly run around and do that on all 4 sides. And now we can get our crimson slabs and stairs and start by placing an upside down one by this crimson stem right here, and then come around the back here, place a regular stair on the back of that block, same again on this side, and then we can get a slab and put 2 like that, and then same again here, and then an upside down crimson stem like so, and then repeat that on the other 4 sides. For the next part of the roof, we want to place down a crimson slab on top of this plank here in the corner, with 2 stairs either side of it on top of the crimson stem. Same again on this one, and then lastly on these 2 corners right here. So we should have something like that, and now we can get our stripped crimson stem. So many crimsons in this video so far, but we want to place them sideways on the back of the stair like this, on all 4 sides like I'm doing right now. And then in the middle of those 2 blocks, we can place our shroom lights down, which sound amazing. Listen to this. Such cool sounds. I love all of the new Nether sounds in this latest snapshot. But then at the front here, we can just cover them up with a crimson trapdoor, so it's not just a pure shroom light shining through. Using some more of the stripped crimson here, we're going to place some on the 4 corners. So we're going to need a temporary block underneath and have it facing upwards like that, and then do the same 3 more times, and then we can get some crimson slabs, and basically on all of the stripped logs you see here, as well as the stream lights, we're going to place them on top, going round in a ring like this. Then we want to grab some crimson planks and stairs, and then pretty much on the 4 corner slabs here, we want a stair on either side. So on this side right here, we're going to place 2 like that. Going round to the right here, we'll have 2 more, and then same again on this side, and lastly we'll have 2 more like this. And then we want to fill in the rest here with full crimson blocks, but we're going to leave a single block in the middle to put a shroom light so we can actually light up the inside a little bit, and then we're just going to shove a trapdoor on top. That was the most intricate part of this whole video out the way with, so if that was a little confusing to follow, don't worry, it's over with now. Hopefully you've got something similar to what I've got on the screen here. Doesn't have to be exact, as long as it's something you're happy with, that's all that really matters. So to begin with here, we're just going to place our door down, marking where it's actually going to go, and then we'll come back to it later on. So place it back a block, but pretty much just place something here so that you know this is the front of the house, and then we're going to work on the other 3 sides. So grab your strips crimson stem again, and we're going to go 3 up like this, back a block from these 2 pillars here, and then we're going to have 3 going across the top like that. We'll have a slab here and a slab here, and then a stair upside down on that block, and then a stair the right way up on this block, and then we'll have a crimson trapdoor, add somewhat of a window, and then we'll have a nice soulfire lantern hanging from that block there. And then we can do the same on the other 2 sides, and in a little bit we're going to go around to the whole build and replace some of these stripped crimson stems with basalt, but we'll wait until we're all done with the whole thing before we start exchanging all of those blocks. And now for the main entrance of our house here. So we're pretty much doing what we've done on the other 3 sides. We're going to go up 3 strip stems here either side of the door with 3 more on top. upside down stair above the doorway with 2 slabs on either side, and instead of a soulfire lantern on this block, we're going to have a trap door. Now, you're going to have to forgive me because I forgot a block in the palette at the start of this video, but we need a crimson fence, which you should be able to get hold of, so it's not too big of a deal, on this block here with a soulfire lantern on top. Then we're going to get some crimson nylium, which is all of this stuff here on the floor. Place that down there. Put 2 trapdoors either side, and then a crimson fungi on top to make the Nether's version of a nice little flower bed. We are pretty much all done here. There's really only 2 things left to do, and that's just detailing really. So we want to grab our basalt and our weeping vines here, and the first thing we're going to do is, as I said earlier, replace some of these strip stems here with basalt bricks. Try and do it so when they're facing upwards, the basalt is also facing upwards, but I suppose it doesn't really matter. But yeah, just exchange some of this out to your heart's content really. If you want lots of detail in and you like this basalt block a lot, add loads in. If you're not too big of a fan, you may not even want to add it in at all, but I think it goes quite nicely with everything else we've got going on here, so I'm going to do it a little bit here. Yeah, I'd say I'm quite happy with how this looks. So now we can grab our weeping vines and pretty much just dangle them from the blocks that we're able to do that on, which is sadly only the corners here. We can't hang them from any of these blocks. I suppose you could make some alterations and allow yourself to do that, but for what I've done here, I can only do them on the corners. So we can basically make these as long as we want. We can keep some really short like that, and say you want to stop the growth on just 2 here like that, we can actually place a string on the ground which will stop it growing any further. But yeah, just place as much as this in as you want, but do bear in mind it will grow if you let it and eventually end up reaching all the way down to the floor here. As far as the inside of the house is concerned, we can start by placing some blocks underneath these 4 corners here. We're just going to place some basalt and more strip stem, and then at the top here we can take out the 8 full blocks surrounding this shroomlight and replace them with upside down crimson stairs just to highlight the block a little bit, which I think looks quite nice. And then we can add in some survival amenities, so some storage at the top here. We're going to have 9 barrels going around the sides. That should be more than enough for this small house here, and then some furnaces and a blast furnace, and we can have our crafting bench in the floor here and replace the rest with some crimson stems. However scary it might be to do so if you're like me above a lava pool, but we're going to have 4 of them going into the crafting bench themselves, and then 2 going into either one of these sides here to make a nice little floor design, which I think looks pretty cool. And then we can even place an armor stand and put some of the new netherite armor on, even though it's very difficult to get, so kudos to you if you somehow managed to have a spare set of this to display. So that is the Crimson House all done. We can now move over to the Warped Forest and I'll show you how to build that one. Here are all of the blocks we're going to need for this build. Same goes for this one. All of these at the top here can be obtained within the forest themselves, so just make sure you got a good amount of those and you should be fine. But we're going to need 6 iron bars and 4 more soulfire lanterns. We're going to start this one the same way as we did the other house by doing our pillar blocks first. So grab your stripped warp stem here and we're going to place 4 blocks down with a gap of 2 in between each of those, and then we can actually bring all 4 of these up by 2 more blocks. And now we can mark the front of our house. So grab your warp doors here and decide where you want that to be. I can place a double door down like so, and then on the top block of all of these pillars here we can place an upside down warp stair just like this, and then on top of those ones we can place 2 more stripped warp stem. For this next part, grab your warp slabs and stairs, your warp buttons, some iron bars and some warp stems. So to begin with, we can get our warp stem and place 2 on all of the 4 sides connecting these top pillar blocks here, and then come around to the outside grabbing your warp slabs and connect these 2 stairs up just so we have a little bit of that warp stem poking through, which I think looks quite nice. And then we can come down to the bottom level here, and on the 3 sides where we don't have our door we can place in some stairs, and on top of those some iron bars on all 3 sides again. And then on the bottom of our pillar blocks here we can just add 2 buttons on each of those. Once again, grab your warp stem, and on the top of all 8 of these pillar blocks here we're going to add 1 extra one on top of those. I might actually need to destroy that tree in a little bit, but then on each of the 4 corners here we can have a warp slab like that with a warped fence and our soulfire lantern underneath, and then just copy that over 3 more times. Now we can grab some more of our stripped warp stem here and connect the regular stem blocks up by placing 2 of them going across on all 4 sides, and then we can come around to one of the sides here, place an upside down stair on either of the regular stem blocks and connect them with a slab in the middle, and again do that on the other 3 sides. We can now add in our windows on the top level here, so all we need to do for that is 2 stairs and 2 trapdoors, just like that, and then once again copy it on over. Try not to throw your stair on the ground though, you probably need that. All we've got left to do now is finish up the roof here, so I'll do this one step at a time, so hopefully it's nice and easy to follow. So on all of the top of these regular stem blocks here, we're going to place a warp slab like this, and then on the stripped ones, we're going to place 2 stairs down. Grabbing some more stairs here, we're going to place some upside down ones on the back of the forward facing stairs we've just placed down, and then on top of those ones we can place in some slabs. For the next part here, we're actually just going to hop inside real quick and place in 3 warp fences on all 4 corners here, and then we can hop back outside on top of the roof and then place a warp stem on top of those fences. On to the final step here, so grab your shroom lights and warp trapdoors, and then we're going to have a trapdoor on all of the stem blocks here, and then in the middle place down 4 shroom lights with some trapdoors on top. So that is the exterior all done. As far as the interior is concerned, we're just going to do something real basic here. We're going to have 4 double chests on top of all of the crimson blocks up top. If you do need more storage than 4 double chests, you can always add some more even higher up, but I'm not a big fan on how that looks, so just going to keep it as the 4 for now for storage, and then we can place our furnaces and crafting bench in the floor here. I think it goes without saying, but don't place a bed in either of these houses. You will most likely regret it. Anyway guys, that's going to be it for the video. I hope you did enjoy and that it helped you out if you chose to build either of these. Have you got a preference on which one you prefer? I think I personally am leaning more towards the one in the Crimson Forest. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.